The smell of lemongrass and fish sauce filled the air, mingling with the clatter of plates and the hum of conversation. Nguyen's Pho House, my family's pride and joy, was packed tonight, as it always was on weekends. Waiters darted between tables, balancing steaming bowls of noodle soup, while my mother's sharp voice called out orders from the kitchen. I sat at the family table in the corner, my laptop closed, trying to blend into the chaos. But the weight of their expectations made me feel like I was under a spotlight. "Lena, you eat too slow," my mother snapped, sliding a bowl of pho in front of me. Her apron was stained with broth, her hair pulled tight in a bun. "Customers waiting, and you sit there daydreaming." "I'm not daydreaming," I said, stirring the noodles. "I'm just tired." "Tired?" My father snorted, wiping his hands on a rag as he joined us. "You sit in front of computer all day. How you tired? Try running restaurant for 30 years. I bit my lip, swallowing the urge to argue. To them, my job at Novex Labs, my startup, my dream, was just playing with computers. They didn't know I was leading a team of 30 AI researchers, or that our latest project could predict disease outbreaks with 95% accuracy. They didn't know because they never asked. My brother Min slid into the seat across from me, his medical school scrubs still on. "Lena, you should have seen the ER today. Saved a guy's life during a code blue. That's real work." He grinned, tossing a shrimp chip into his mouth. "What'd you do? Write some code to make a robot say hello." The table laughed. My parents, my Aunt Lynn, even the cousins who'd stopped by. I gripped my spoon, the metal cool against my palm. Min, the golden son, future doctor, the one who'd carry the Nguyen name to glory. Me? I was the disappointment, the one who'd turned down med school to chase a tech fantasy. "Lena's doing fine," Aunt Lynn said, her tone dripping with pity. "Not everyone can handle medicine. Computers are easier, right?" I forced a smile. "Sure, easier." By easier, she meant building neural networks that could outthink most humans. By fine, she meant wasting my potential when I could have been helping at the restaurant. My mother leaned in, her voice low. "Lena, you almost 30. Time to stop this nonsense. Come work here full time. Min will be doctor, but restaurant needs you. Family needs you." I stared at the broth, the steam curling up like a ghost. "I have a job, Matt. A good one." "Good?" My father scoffed. "You make what, $20 an hour? I see your apartment. Tiny, no good. You work here. We pay better. Give you future." I wanted to laugh. My tiny apartment was a loft in Belltown, paid for by the $10 million in venture capital Novex had raised. My salary was triple Min's resident stipend. But explaining that was pointless. They'd never believe me. "Leave her alone," Min said, but his smirk betrayed him. "Lena's happy with her little startup. Let her play until she's ready for a real job." The laughter stung, but I kept my face neutral. Tomorrow, I'd be pitching our AI system, Elara, to the National Institutes of Health. If we secured their contract, it could save millions of lives. But tonight, I was just Lena, the family failure. I stood, grabbing my laptop. "I have to go. Early meeting." "Of course," Min said, rolling his eyes. "Big tech stuff, huh?" My father's voice followed me to the door. "Lena, you think you better than us? Nguyen name means something in this city. Don't throw it away." In my car, I dialed my lead engineer, Priya. "Everything set for tomorrow?" "Rock solid," she replied. "Elara's predictive models are flawless. NIH will eat it up." "Good. No leaks. This stays between us." "Got it, boss. But Lena, why not tell your family? They'd lose it if they knew." I glanced at the restaurant's neon sign fading in my rearview mirror. "They'll see soon enough." Back in my loft, I opened my laptop, the Novex logo glowing. Elara wasn't just code. It was a revolution. A deep learning system that could analyze global health data, predict pandemics, and optimize vaccine distribution. My team had worked nights for 2 years to perfect it. Tomorrow's pitch could make Novex a household name. A text from Min popped up. "Sis, seriously, think about the restaurant. Better than chasing AI dreams." I ignored it, pulling up Elara's latest test results. The NIH contract was worth $50 million, but more than that, it was a chance to prove what I'd always known. I wasn't just Nguyen. I was Lena Nguyen, and I was building the future. The conference room at Novex Labs buzzed with nervous energy, the hum of laptops and coffee machines filling the air. My team huddled around a glass table, screens glowing with Elara's data, charts of disease spread, heat maps of vaccine efficacy, predictions that could have stopped the last pandemic in its tracks. I stood at the head, My tailored blazer a far cry from the jeans I wore at the restaurant last night. Today, we were pitching to the National Institutes of Health, and everything was on the line. Lena, the simulation's ready, Priya said, her fingers flying over her tablet. Elara nailed it, 98% accuracy on the flu outbreak model. I nodded, scanning the room. My team, data scientists, coders, epidemiologists, looked exhausted but determined. We'd spent months refining Elara, our AI system that could predict health crises by analyzing billions of data points. If the NIH signed on, we'd deploy it globally. If not, Novex might not survive the year. Run it one more time, I said. No mistakes. As Priya reset the demo, my phone buzzed. A text from my mother, Lena, come to restaurant tonight. We talk about your future. I ignored it, my focus on the pitch deck. But another message popped up, this one from an unknown number. Careful, Lena. Elara's not as secure as you think. My stomach twisted. A leak? Impossible. Our servers were locked tighter than Fort Knox. Priya, check the security logs. I whispered. Someone's sniffing around. She frowned but nodded, pulling up the firewall data. Before she could respond, the NIH team arrived, 5 suits, led by Dr. Helen Carter, a public health legend. Her handshake was firm, her eyes sharp. Miss Nguyen, your proposal's bold. Let's see if it delivers. I launched into the pitch, my voice steady. Elara doesn't just predict outbreaks, it prevents them. It analyzes global health data in real time, from hospital records to social media. Last month, it flagged a dengue surge in Jakarta before the WHO even noticed. The screen showed Elara's interface, sleek and intuitive, projecting a 3D model of a virus spread. The NIH team leaned forward, scribbling notes. Halfway through, Priya slipped me a note. Breach attempt detected. Source unknown. Contained for now. I kept my face neutral, clicking to the next slide. Someone was targeting us, and I had a bad feeling about who. The pitch ended with applause. Dr. Carter smiling. Impressive, Miss Nguyen. We'll review and get back to you. But I'll be blunt. There's another player in the race. Synapse AI claims they've got a similar system, cheaper and faster. My blood ran cold. Synapse AI was Ethan Tran's company, my old college rival. He'd always been brilliant but ruthless, stealing ideas and calling it competition. Last I heard, he was chasing military contracts, not health tech. Synapse, I said, keeping my tone light. Their track records? Questionable. Dr. Carter raised an eyebrow. They're pitching tomorrow, we'll see. Back in my office, I called Priya and our cybersecurity lead, Javier. Find that breach and dig into Synapse. I want everything, their tech, their funding, their moves. Javier nodded, his screen already glowing with code. On it. But Lena, the breach signature? It's sophisticated. Whoever's behind it has deep pockets. I paced, my mind racing. Ethan had always hated losing to me. Back in school, I'd beaten him for a research grant, and he'd never let it go. If he was after Elara, he wasn't just competing. He was playing dirty. That night, I drove to the restaurant against my better judgment. My mother greeted me with a frown. Lena, you late. Customers waiting. I'm not here to work, I said, sitting at the family table. Min was there, scrolling on his phone, a medical journal open beside him. My father joined us, his face stern. We talk now, he said. You need to stop this computer nonsense. Restaurant is your future. Nguyen name is your future. I clenched my jaw. My future's at Novex. I'm pitching to the NIH today. If we win, it could save millions of lives. Min snorted. AI saving lives? Come on, Lena. Stick to cooking pho. It's what you're good at. Before I could snap back, my phone buzzed. Javier, breach traced to Synapse AI servers. They tried to steal Elara's source code. We blocked it, but they got metadata. My heart sank. Ethan wasn't just pitching, he was sabotaging us. I stood, grabbing my bag. I have to go. My mother grabbed my arm. Lena, you always run. Why you shame us? Min is doctor, you could be something too. I pulled away, my voice cold. I am something, you'll see. Back at Novex, Javier and Priya were waiting. Synapse is pitching a knockoff of Elara, Priya said. Their system's a hack, less accurate, unstable, but they're undercutting us on price. And they've got friends, Javier added. Investors tied to your family's old business contacts. Looks like they're betting against you. I nodded, pieces clicking into place. My father's restaurant had been funded by Seattle's elite, some of whom backed Ethan's ventures. They'd never taken me seriously, and now they were bankrolling my rival. We need to move fast, I said. Prep for Singapore. That's where we'll bury them. The AI World Summit in Singapore was 2 weeks away, the perfect stage to showcase Elara. If we could prove Synapse's flaws, we'd secure the NIH contract and expose Ethan. But the clock was ticking, and I had a feeling he wasn't done playing dirty. Singapore's Marina Bay sands glittered under the night sky, its 3 towers piercing the clouds. The AI World Summit was in full swing, the convention center buzzing with tech giants, policymakers, and press. I stood backstage, my tablet glowing with Elara's latest data, my heart pounding. Today was make or break. If we nailed this, the NIH contract was ours. If not, Ethan Tran and Synapse AI would bury us. Priya adjusted my earpiece, her voice calm but urgent. Lena, the demo's locked in. We patched the security flaw from the last breach, but Ethan's up first and he's got the crowd eating out of his hand. I glanced at the monitor. Ethan, in a sleek suit, was charming the audience, his slides flashy with promises of Synapse's AI. Our system is faster, cheaper, and ready now, he said, his smile sharp. Unlike our competitors, we don't chase dreams. We deliver results. The crowd applauded, and my stomach twisted. He was good, too good. Javier slipped me a USB drive. We cracked their code. Synapse's system is a ripoff of Elara, but it's unstable. If we can prove it, he's done. I nodded, slipping the drive into my pocket. Get the demo ready, we go hard. Ethan's presentation ended to thunderous applause. As he stepped off stage, he caught my eye, his smirk unmistakable. Good luck, Lena. You'll need it. I ignored him, taking the stage. The lights were blinding, the crowd a sea of faces. Good morning, I said, my voice steady. I'm Lena Nguyen, CEO of Novex Labs. Today you'll see what AI can really do. I clicked to Elara's interface, showing real-time predictions of a hypothetical flu outbreak. The screen mapped its spread, pinpointing hotspots and recommending vaccine deployments. Gasps rippled through the room. Then I pivoted. But not all AI is created equal. Some cut corners. I plugged in Javier's drive, displaying Synapse's stolen code side by side with Elara's. This is Synapse AI's system. It's a copy of ours, but flawed. Unstable algorithms, untested models. It's not just ineffective, it's dangerous. The crowd murmured, heads turning toward Ethan, who stood frozen in the wings. I pushed forward, showing data from Synapse's test runs, false positives, crashes, predictions that could have cost lives. This isn't innovation, I said. It's theft. The room erupted. Reporters scribbled furiously, delegates whispered. Ethan stormed forward, his face red. This is slander. You have no proof. I held up the USB. Your code speaks for itself, Ethan, and so do your servers. We traced your breach attempts to Novex. Security stepped in, escorting Ethan out as he shouted denials. The crowd was on its feet, some cheering, others stunned. Dr. Carter from the NIH approached me backstage, her expression grim but impressed. That was bold, Miss Nguyen. If your data checks out, the contract's yours. It will, I said, handing her the USB. Run it yourself. As the summit continued, my phone buzzed nonstop. News outlets were already running headlines. Novex CEO exposes rivals fraud. Twitter was ablaze with Elara rising. But one text stopped me cold. From Min, saw your speech online. Didn't know you could do that. Call me. I ignored it, focusing on the next steps. The NIH confirmed the contract that night, a $50 million deal to deploy Elara worldwide. But Ethan wasn't done. Javier called as I left the convention center. Lena, Synapse just leaked doctored data claiming Elara failed a stress test. It's nonsense, but it's spreading. I cursed under my breath. Counter it. Release our test logs. Full transparency. Back at my hotel, I opened my laptop, watching the smear campaign unfold. Blogs and tech forums were picking up Synapse's lies, questioning Elara's reliability. My family's restaurant contacts, old investors who backed Ethan, were fueling the fire, whispering to the press that I was overhyped. And then I saw it, a post from Min on a community forum, defending the family name but calling my work unproven. I slammed the laptop shut, anger boiling. Min, who'd mocked me for years, was now hedging his bets, siding with the doubters. I wanted to call him, scream that he was wrong, but I stopped. Words wouldn't change them. Results would. The next morning, I flew back to Seattle, my team already drafting a response to Synapse's lies. Priya met me at Novex, her eyes bloodshot from pulling an all-nighter. We've got the test logs ready, and we found something else. Ethan's been meeting with your father's old business partners. They're funding his smear campaign. I nodded, unsurprised. Let them try. We'll bury them in Singapore's fallout. That night, I got another text from Min. Lena, man boss saw the news. They're confused. Talk to us. I didn't reply. Instead, I poured my energy into Elara, preparing for the next phase, a real-world test. The WHO had invited us to deploy Elara in Southeast Asia, where a new virus was emerging. If we succeeded, it would silence the doubters. If we failed, Ethan would win. The air in Hanoi was thick with humidity, the streets alive with motorbikes and vendors. I stood outside a makeshift command center, a converted warehouse where Novex had set up Elara's first real-world test. A new virus was spreading in rural Vietnam, and the WHO had given us 72 hours to prove Elara could predict and contain it. My team worked around the clock, laptops glowing, coffee cups piling up. I hadn't slept in days, but the fire in my chest kept me going. Priya monitored Elara's dashboard, her voice steady. Lena, we're tracking the virus in real time. Elara's flagged 3 hotspots, 2 villages, and a market. If we deploy vaccines now, we can stop it. I nodded, relaying coordinates to the WHO team. Do it. And keep the data streaming. No errors. Outside, the press gathered, cameras flashing. Ethan's smear campaign had followed us here, with Synapse claiming Elara was untested and risky. My family's old investors were quoted in articles calling me ambitious but naive. Even Min had posted again, this time on Instagram, proud of my sis, but let's see if her AI works. His half-hearted support stung more than his mockery. As the sun set, Elara's predictions proved flawless. The WHO deployed vaccines exactly where we directed, and within 48 hours, the virus's spread slowed. By day 3, it was contained. The warehouse erupted in cheers, Priya hugging me as tears streamed down her face. We did it, Lena. We saved lives. I smiled, but my mind was elsewhere. The press conference was in an hour and the world was watching. So was my family, who'd flown to Hanoi uninvited, claiming they wanted to support me. I didn't buy it. At the conference, I stepped to the podium, the WHO director beside me. Elara isn't just technology, I said, my voice carrying. It's a lifeline. Today, it stopped a virus that could have killed thousands. Tomorrow, it'll save millions. The screen showed Elara's data, undeniable proof of its success. The crowd applauded, reporters shouting questions. Then I saw them, my parents, Min, Aunt Lynn. In the back, their faces a mix of shock and pride. Min caught my eye, his usual smirk gone. My mother clutched my father's arm, whispering. I turned away, focusing on the WHO director's praise. Afterward, Min approached, his scrubs swapped for a suit. Lena, I didn't get it. What you did here, it's huge. I crossed my arms. You called it unproven. You sided with them. He flinched. I was wrong. I thought you were chasing a fantasy. But this, he gestured to the warehouse, this is real. My mother stepped forward, her eyes wet. Lena, we proud, we didn't understand. You make Nguyen name mean something new. I wanted to believe them, but years of doubt held me back. You thought I'd fail, I said. You wanted me to serve foe, not change the world. My father nodded, his voice soft. We were wrong, Kangai. You show us. Before I could respond, Priya rushed over. Lena, Synapse just folded. Ethan's under investigation for data theft. The NIH contract's officially ours. I exhaled, the weight lifting. Ethan was done, his lies exposed. My family's old investors, humiliated, were pulling out of Seattle's tech scene. Novex was untouchable. That night, I stood on the warehouse roof, Hanoi's lights stretching below. My phone buzzed with messages, congratulations from the WHO, headlines calling me the future of AI. Min texted again, sis, let's talk. For real. I replied, maybe, but I'm busy saving the world. Months later, Novex's headquarters in Seattle was a beacon of innovation, Elara powering health systems worldwide. I'd started a scholarship for women in STEM, named after my grandmother who'd never had a chance to dream. At its launch, a young Vietnamese girl approached, clutching a coding book. Miss Nguyen, my parents want me to be a nurse, but I want to be like you. I smiled, remembering the restaurant, the laughter, the fire they couldn't see. Let me tell you a story, I said. It starts with a family who thought I'd never be enough. As I spoke, the girl listened, her eyes bright. Around us, the city hummed with possibility. The Nguyen name meant something new now, not just a restaurant, but a legacy of courage, innovation, and fire. I hadn't just proven them wrong, I'd proven myself right. And that was everything.